Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Good to have everybody here today. Good afternoon, good evening. Yes, so it's going to be a great time this wonderful day. Welcome to the transformation table. And today we're going to be starting with a powerful conversation with um, a global business leader. So I want to encourage you to share this live broadcast with anyone that you know anywhere in the world. We're going to get started in the next few minutes, and our guest today is going to be joining us live in the next few minutes. Dr. John Mukoro is going to be joining us in the next few minutes. So if you are watching us live on Facebook, on YouTube, I would encourage you to join us live on Instagram. Dr. John is going to join us live on Instagram. Okay. So kindly join us on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing the link right away. You should have the link. Join us at I am Wale Adekola. Okay. So all right. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Mike, thanks for joining. Toby, Mr. Toby, I believe. Thanks for joining. Thank you, everyone. Please kindly share this with everyone. So let's wait a little bit for others to join us. For everyone watching us live on Facebook and on YouTube, LinkedIn, I can see many people coming into the studio. Can you please just come over to the Instagram page, because I will be live on Facebook, on YouTube, and as well on LinkedIn. But Dr. John will be available to join us on Instagram. Right now, he's on his way, traveling from one country to the other, but it's going to be live here, all right, to join us live here. So let's move to the Instagram to join him live. So he's going to be connecting in a moment. But let me quickly introduce him. Okay, for those who don't know him, Dr. John Mukoro is the founder of Own Your Life Institute, and he is also the co-founder of John Moore Global Consulting LLC, and the president and CEO of Esecares Global Limited. So he's wearing a lot of caps. So you are going to get a lot of information, powerful information from him today. So don't leave until we end this broadcast, because it's going to transform not just your life, your family, your business, or anything that you are involved in as a leader. Today's conversation is for leaders. All right. If you're a leader in any area of life, today is your day. All right. So Dr. John is going to dissect, is going to give us powerful concept about the topic that we're going to be talking about today: why leaders go first. Why leaders go first is going to help us to understand this concept. All right. He's an expert, he's a global business leader, he is a seasoned coach, facilitator, and trainer, whose core area of interest is nurturing sales champions and helping organizations increase sales revenue. All right. So if you want to increase your revenue, if you want to become a champion, if you want to know how to lead effectively in your own domain, today is your day. All right. So kindly share this with everyone that you know anywhere in the world. By the way, let me also let you know that Dr. John has undergone the Policy, Strategy, and Leadership course. It is called PSLC at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, Kurojos in Nigeria. All right. Okay. Someone said, unfortunately, it's late here. I know. I know. It's 8 p.m. right now in Nigeria. And where are you joining from? Is it somewhere in Africa? I believe so. I know it's late, but it's going to worth your time. It's going to worth your time. Okay, so stay tuned. It's going to be connecting in a moment. Dr. John will be connecting in a moment, and then we're going to get started. All right. So if you're live right now on YouTube, on Instagram, I mean on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or on Facebook, I would encourage you to please, come and join us live on Instagram. So Dr. John is going to be right here live on Instagram. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be fantastic. He's a global business leader. He's an expert, seasoned coach, seasoned trainer, and he's going to, be helping us to understand this concept and this major topic that we're going to be talking about today. Why leaders go first? If as you all know, leadership is my passion. Everything I believe is it rises and falls on leadership, as said by John C. Maxwell. Well, we also have Dr. John here today. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's the same spirit. It's the same spirit. So let's get I think Dr. John is here. Let's invite Dr. John to join us live in the studio. All right. Okay, let's quickly invite Dr. John to join us. All right. So, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Let's wait for him to join us. Okay, just send out the invites. Here we go. Can you hear me, Dr. John? How are you, sir?
Good evening.
Oh, good evening. Yeah, good. I'm doing awesome. I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on this live broadcast. And we have people all around the world, on our live broadcast right now to to be impacted and to get a lot of value from this conversation today. This is Transformation Table, and one of the things we want to focus on this series is discussing some hard topics on leadership. And thank you very much, Dr. John. I know you're very busy and taking some time out of your busy schedule. So let's go straight into the conversation. I mean, today's topic is about why leaders go first. I mean, this is a phrase that most people talk about, but I strongly believe, due to my interaction with leaders and also followers, that most people don't really understand what this really means. So today I want us to go deep into this conversation to talk about why leaders go first. So I have some questions that I will be asking you today. So let's start with the first one. But by the way, before we start, how is your day? How is your day? How was your day? How's everything going?
Very fine, Mr. Wale.
Awesome.
Very fine. I'm very happy to be with you tonight, and the deliberation is going to be interesting. Let's go.
I believe so. So let's just get into it. But before the first question, let me quickly invite those who are on YouTube, on on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I just shared the link right now, the Instagram link. I am Wale Adekanla. Please join us on Instagram. Dr. John is live right now on Instagram. So let's get this started. So when people say why leaders go first, so who are go first leaders? Can we start with that?
Okay, thank you very much. When I saw the topic, go first leaders, I decided to put down some thoughts. Do you understand? I decided to itemize some things of who go first leaders are. You understand? We live in a world where there is so much theory. is so easy. It's so easy to say. You understand? They say talking is cheap. It's so easy for people to come and say, this is what you should do, this is how you should do it. But it's different from being a go first leader. A go first leader does not just talk. The distinguishing factor is that go first leaders are leaders that lead from the front. You understand? They lead from the front. Leading from the front means demonstrating leadership by going first. You get, in those, I was in banking for 10 years. You understand? So there was this experience I had in banking where the leader of the team will say, by 7:30, everybody should be in the banking hall. You understand? Well, he just says it, and he doesn't come to the office by 7:30. He comes by 7:50. Do you understand? And everybody now knew that this guy comes by 7:50. Do you understand? So they've watched him. They've seen that he comes by 7:50, and they say coming by 7:40. You understand? So the day he now came by that 7:30, he didn't meet anybody. Do you understand? So both first leaders, it means that the leader does the tough things first by showing how it is done. Do you understand? You don't just say, you demonstrate, you act. Do you understand? I said showing most times is easier than telling. To show by example is easier than telling. You understand? It means leading by example. You can't influence people in any area you are not good at. It's almost impossible. Do you understand? It's easier for people to follow by watching. Do you understand? I said something here. I said children know more of what they see their parents do than what their parents say. Do you understand? They know more of what they see their parents do than what their parents say. So, go first leaders set parameters for engagement. Do you understand? They set parameters for engagement. They set expectations for people to follow. They don't just talk. They don't just come and say, this is what you have to do. They do it first. To be a good first leader, you have to hold yourself to higher standard and expectation, as that will set the standard for others to follow. Do you understand? Imagine, if you've been in the traffic in Nigeria, you will see these guys that they sell books along the traffic, and you will see the title of the book, How to Be a Millionaire. And you'll be wondering, you understand, this guy is selling the book, How to Be a Millionaire, you understand? How come he hasn't read the book? You understand? But imagine a Bill Gates writing a book, How to Be a Millionaire. He writes the book, or Warren Buffett, he writes the book, How to Be a Millionaire, and he gives it to you. You are more likely to just take that book and read it. Do you understand? Because the person that wrote that book, you know for sure that this person has demonstrated what he's writing about. Do you understand? He has demonstrated it. So it's always easy, you understand, for you to influence people by going first, by acting first. Do you understand? it's easy. It's easier for people to follow when you demonstrate going first. In Nigeria too, you know, during the insurgent, the defense headquarters we all know is in Abuja.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? But when the crisis became too much in Maiduguri, you know what the president did? The president moved some of the command to Maiduguri. Do you understand? Because if the command headquarters was to be fully in Abuja, it means that most of the commanders will be commanding from Abuja. Do you understand? Will be commanding. So by moving it to Maiduguri, is simply saying that when the leaders are on ground, you understand, when they are present in the zone of the fight, what do you think that does to the soldiers? It will boost their morale. Do you understand? So when you are a go-first leader, it has a way of boosting the morale of your team. Do you get? So I am the kind of business I do. I bring in marketers. I recruit marketers for companies. Do you understand? Now, when I join the business and I know how to do it and I rise to the top, you understand? The current company I market for about what Nigeria. Do you understand? So when I go back and I'm talking to people and I said, this is how you do it. I don't even need to talk about how to. I just tell you my story. This was what I did to get here. Do you understand? Because, in the last 14 years, there are 3 things I have invested in.
Okay.
Do you understand? I've invested in 3 things that has shaped my life in the last 14 years. Number 1, you understand? I'm talking about it because of the number 3 of these things. You understand? That was why my mind came here. Number 1 of those 3 things I've invested in is personal development. Because I've always believed that anywhere you go to in this world, you take yourself there. So you have a personal responsibility to develop that yourself that you take around. It's something I believe in. It's something that I've done continuously. It's something that has shaped my life. Do you understand? Now, number 2 thing that I've invested in is relationship building. You understand? I believe that no man gets to the top on his own. It takes another man to support you, to guide you to the top. So you have to deliberately and intentionally build value-based relationships. It's very, very important. The number 3 thing is that I've invested in is mentorship. Because I've always also believed that anything you want to be in life, there's somebody somewhere that has become that thing. There's somebody somewhere that has passed through that route and has achieved that same thing you want to achieve. Why try to reinvent the wheel? The best you can just do is look for that person and model after that person. Do you understand? Now, when people come to me and say, how do you achieve these results? How how can we achieve the results you have achieved in the industry? I just tell them that, you see, in this industry, learning comes first. Do you understand? Learning comes first. And mark you, they are asking me and listening to me because I've achieved results. If there was no result, they wouldn't even listen. Now, because I've achieved results, it's easier for them to listen and get what I'm saying. And I tell them that, see, in this industry, what has worked for me is that I see this industry as a learning platform, and you must prioritize learning. That the more you learn, the L in the learning will disappear. And when the L disappears, what happens? You need to have earning. Do you understand? So the learning comes before earning. Do you understand? So that is the first thing I tell them. And they are listening. And I'm telling them that these are the things I did to get to where I am today. And I tell them, I have invested in these 3 areas, so they need to also invest in these 3 areas. And it's easy. Once they try to just do what I have done, it's easy for them to also get here. I also, some years back, I was in the bank then, back in Fidelity Bank Asaba. I was in the bank. I was in banking for 10 years. So there was a day I saw Professor Pato Tommy. You know him, right?
Yes, of course. Yes, I do.
Good. Yeah. So I just went to him and I said, "Sir, I want to be like you." He looked at me. He said, "Really?" I said, "Yes." Do you understand? So he asked me to come to his house at Iguzo. Do you understand? I went to his house. He spent 3 hours with me. On the day he gave me this, I'm telling you something about 14, 15 years back. Do you understand? He was the one that actually gave me these 3 concepts 15 years ago. Said, "John, you want to be like me?" I said, "Yes, sir." That was what I told you in banking. He sat me down. He said, "If you want to be like me, there are 3 things you have to invest in. 1, so to get to where I am, there are 3 things I've invested in that you have to invest in. 1, personal development. 2, relationship building. 3, mentorship." Do you understand? I picked it that day, and the very first book, he told me to go and read is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Now, let me tell you something. A year before I met Professor Pato Tommy, Midwest region of Fidelity Bank, they organized an award dinner for the region. And in that award, I was awarded best dressed staff. I was given a book. A year before my encounter with the past, the book I was given was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. I didn't read it. I was even angry. Why would they give me a book? Why would they give me a book? This is a band for crying out loud. They couldn't even give me something that gave me a book. But after that encounter with some parts, I went home that day and I was telling my wife, I'm looking for one book. I picked that book, and when I read that book, my brother, between them and I think I've read that book over 20 times. I developed the book into a slide. I think I bought somewhere to train. I trained on using the only thing I trained was that book, 7 Habits, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. 2 hours break in between. I was paid ₦1 million. The only thing I used was that book. Do you understand? That book transformed my life. So why am I telling you this story? I saw a man that had gone first. I had an encounter with him. He told me his experience. I followed. Do you know what happened? I met him. So after my encounter, I was 3 years in banking when I left for back. After my encounter with him, I knew exactly that after 7 years, I was going to leave banking. I had clarity. I knew exactly what I was going to do when I leave banking. I was going to set time to say, in 7 years, making 7 plus 3, 10 years, I'm going to exit the industry. And when I exit the industry, this is what I will be doing. Do you understand? So look for people who have done, look for go first leaders. People, so when you are a go first leader, it's much more easier to influence people to do what you have done. Do you know? Let's look for an area, any area. Let's say the sales of, let's say sales in any field. Okay, let's even say tailoring or any area, or let's even say any business. I bring 2 persons in a new field of business. There is one brother has BSc, Masters, even PhD. He can study that business theoretically and stand in front of anywhere to do a presentation on it, right?
Yes.
Then there's somebody else who doesn't have a BSc, no Masters, no PhD, maybe just SSC. But the person has done that business for some years, has gotten results in that business. And there's something I'm trying to remember. This what's his name? This Cosaris man. Have you heard him talk? Have you heard this story? Have you heard the Cosmos man do?
Yes.
Yeah. You heard the story, so good. So it's not about you. If these people they come together to give a presentation, you will see that the person that has BSc, Master, come and tell you theory, good English. But the guy that has done it, gotten results, you will notice one thing. You will see the passion. Do you understand? You will see that guy will connect better with the audience. So, go first leaders are people, I said, people find it easier to follow what they say. So, what we need today are go first leaders. Where do we have issues? Where do we have issues in our politics in Nigeria today? You see a man who struggled to go through school. You see a man who couldn't even manage his own business. You understand? Couldn't even manage his own family. You understand? Struggling to in business. He didn't dominate the business he was doing. He couldn't dominate any area of his life. You understand? But somehow he found himself in leader, maybe as a senator, governor, president, and you suddenly want him. You understand? Because the fact is that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So when you see leaders that are good at what they do you understand? It's easier for them to be able to influence people. Leading from the front means demonstrating your leadership by doing it first.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Demonstrating your leadership by doing it first. You know, Bishop Oyedepo,
okay,
he once said, instead of announcing that you want to go and pray first and announce the result of the prayer. Do you understand? Go and pray first and come and announce the result of the prayer. Do you understand? So we really need, so that's the concept of leading from the front.
Wow.
Yes. First leaders. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. In fact, you've said a lot of things that I can personally, resonate with. And you've really, touched my heart because you've made some statements that are very powerful. And we have leaders, on this call. If you're a business leader, a religious leader, a leader in any area of life, this is for you. And in fact, I will encourage you to tag a leader that you know. Tag any leader that you know in any area of life. This is for them. And the conversation today is why leaders go first. And Dr. John has been talking about the importance of leaders going first. So in our word of this of today, just like what Dr. John said, there are many people who are, who know a lot of theories. In fact, I wrote a book that I released 2 years ago, Just Jump. The book is all about execution, 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 and execution. It's all about just move, just move. In fact, there was a time I was doing a training. In fact, Dr. John, you said something right now that I really love. There was a time I was doing a training, and I asked people to define leadership. Many people define leadership. Wow. I heard some definitions that I've never heard before in my life. I was like, wow, these are great definitions. And I asked them a follow-up question. If I put you in the middle of a team right now or an organization right now, and I ask you to act the definition you just defined, that definition, that beautiful definition, how can you apply it? The whole room went blank. And this is the problem. Most people are not action oriented. In fact, Dr. John, I want us to quickly talk about this. This is very important. I know you have touched this briefly about why do we need go first leaders in our world today? Why we really need them in our world today. But just in few minutes, do you have any thought about that? Why do we need go first leaders in our world today? In different industries, in different different areas of life. Why do we need them? Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you now.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. So my question is this. Why do we need go first leaders in our world today? I mean, you've talked briefly about that just for a few minutes. Why do we really need these people in our world of today? In any industry, in the business world, in the religious world, or in any area of life? Why do we need these people?
Okay, I will. If you in governance, you hear about policy. Nigerians, not just in Nigeria, there are a lot of this policy, that policy, this agreement, that agreement. You understand? This committee being set up, that committee being set up. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of theory every now and then. But you know the biggest problem? The biggest problem in all these policies, the biggest problem that we have is implementation. And policy statements are theories. Strategies is everything is theory. The practical aspect of it is the implementation. And that is usually where things go wrong. And when you were talking, you talked about, you used one word now. You said execution. Go first leaders are leaders that you find them around the execution area. Execution is practical. Implementation is practical. Do you understand? There was a governor in Anambra State. Do you understand? His name is Dr. Chris Ngige.
Yes.
He came in through a very controversial means, you understand? Such that those that brought him in, somehow they wanted him to leave. The powers that be wanted him to leave. They didn't want him to be governor of Anambra State. Do you know what he did? Because then I was in Asaba. You understand? Anambra is very close to Asaba. So I listened, I heard everything that happened. Do you know what he did? He saw that the easiest way for him to survive, as the powers that be have said he should not be governor, the easiest way for him to survive was for the masses to accept him. He focused, I'm sure he focused 85% of his attention on only one thing, and that was road. Road construction. Do you understand? Now, people are moved more by what they see. Do you understand? And he was just doing road. The only thing he was doing was road. And Nigerians were saying, this village being connected to this village, this one to this village, this one. And because they were saying this, they saw that this guy, okay, they felt that, okay, this guy is doing practical things to bring development. That was practically all what he did. And he became so popular. And he almost survived to the end of his tenure. And I'm sure that it was that popularity that even brought him to where he is today. Okay. So the fact is this: we see leaders these days who are very, they are so eloquent. They can tell you everything. They can teach you, tell you for the next 3 hours. They are telling. But let's get down to business and do it. They can't do it. They can't show example. So the fact is that the more go-first leaders that we have, the more leaders that we have that can say, okay, this policy that is in place, let us see to the implementation. Let us see to the end of it. Do you understand? We are in a country where a government brings a policy, they are trying to get to implementation, another government comes, and everything is paused. Do you understand? There's no, people don't want to execute, okay, where are we on this? Do you understand? So we must have leadership that is very practical. Leaders that are very practical. This policy that is on now, how has it affected the common man? How has the common man felt it? Do you understand? Do you know in the bank in those days, you have you can go look for an account. You understand? But there are some accounts. Maybe you are just a banking officer and you want to go market the governor of the state. Is the distance is very wide apart. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So what most MDs do in those days, they will call the governor of the state and say, after every tourist, okay, I'm going to send my staff to you. Are you saying it?
Mm.
I'm going to send my staff to you. Now, that gap that was very wide between the branch manager of one of the branches in that state and the governor, with the MD coming in, what has happened? It has bridged the gap.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So leadership, no matter how high that you are over there, what are the things you can do practically to make the work of your team easier? See, it's very easy for you to come every morning and dish out instructions. You say, this is what you have to do, this is what you must do, do you understand? Do you know, even in those days in the bank too, when you find that the branch manager of the bank, who was supposed to bring in 1 billion, has personally brought in 2 billion. Personally, nobody needs to tell you that your 400 million target, you have to go and meet it. Because even if he does not tell you, you know that this man has done his part. Do you understand? But when the branch manager is supposed to bring it 1 billion, he had gotten only 100 million. What moral rights does he have to tell you to bring in your 400 million? Because he hasn't even met your own target that is junior to him. Do you understand? So it's so easy to pass instruction, to give instruction. This is what you have to do. This is what you must do. But the easiest, in our society will be better when we find go first leaders. Leaders that do it first. Do you understand? Somebody was trying to describe leadership. And he said, a leader, let's assume you are in a forest. Do you understand? You are in a forest. The team is trying to clear and create, they're trying to clear to create a path in the forest. It is the leader that rises top. Leader rises up and looks at what the team is doing from an helicopter view. And he says, guys, you are tilting too much to the right. Maybe there's a river in front. Shift a little bit to the left. Do you understand? Because he went up to see what everybody is doing. And from that view, he's able to guide them. Shift a little to the left. Because when you are headed now, you're going to the river. Because they that are there, they can't see the river. Do you understand?
Yes.
So a leader has to be proactive. The 7 habits of highly effective people by Stephen Covey. Habit number 1 says be proactive. Going first means being proactive.
Yes.
Do you understand? Once a leader is not proactive, it affects the entire team. Do you understand? So when we have go first leaders, I think we'll have a better society.
Wow. Wow, you just eat, the point. And I strongly believe that most of the things you've been talking about, hmm, if we can execute those points, our world will become a better place. I strongly believe. Every day I work with people. I'm into people business every day. Um, you know, and one thing I've come to realize is that most leaders don't understand when to mentor, when to coach. They don't understand the switch. They don't even understand mentorship, coaching, and the difference. And most leaders don't understand when to bridge the gap because they know the way, they go the way, and they show the way. They don't understand when to go first and when to help others to transition and then help other people to go first. And then they support them to create that system because they are going first. I mean, just like what you said, what the leader does affects the culture, affects the team, affects the organization. The leaders create the culture. I mean, culture is all about people. People create culture. So, like what you say, what do you think about um, creating that balance when it comes to going first and also allowing people to also go first? Because most leaders don't know the difference. They don't know how to to make that balance. What would be your own advice for leaders?
Okay, so there are some leaders that lead from the mountain top. You understand? They lead from the mountain top. So I come to you. I told you a story now. I told you I can come here and tell you everything I've achieved in the last 4 or 5 years. You understand? Since I left banking, you understand? And I can talk about that in the next 20 hours. And some people in the audience, they are wondering. And once I consider like that, people are not able to. Okay, maybe when you were introducing me, you said, maybe you already said he was a banker. And I come here and I say, I start myself from in the last 5 years. I've done this, I've achieved this, I've done this, I've done that. Somebody in the audience is wondering, who is a banker, is wondering, at what point did he migrate from banking to get to where he is now? Because the person will always be looking at me. I'm talking about everything I'm in the mountaintop now, so there's no connection. So in the course of this training, I went back to tell you that my 3 years into banking, I was confused. You understand? I didn't have clarity. Do you understand? I didn't have clarity. I didn't know what to do. I was tired. And I saw Professor Pat Utomi. And I ran to him and I said, "Sir, I want to be like you. I want to be able to quit banking someday and start doing what you're doing." And I met him and he told me, do this, do this, do that. Now, by doing that, no matter who I am today now, I have climbed down from that mountaintop. I have come down. The person in this audience who is currently a banker is now seeing me back in banking, maybe 14, 15 years back now. He's seeing me where he is currently, and he's not seeing the steps I have taken. Do you understand? So most leaders must be able, as they talk about, as they mentor people, coach people, talk about where they are today now, they must be able to still tell people what they did to get to where they are currently. Even the mistakes they've made. Do you understand? Where they were. So that there will be that connection. You understand? Between who they are now and whoever is listening to them. Because when I go that route, whoever is doing any business now is in civil service, is in banking, is in oil and gas, and the person wants to switch. The person knows that, okay, this man was here. This was what he did. You understand? It's able to connect the dots. You understand? So when leaders, because there are some leaders that, because they've achieved so much in telling their story, they hide their vulnerability. Do you understand? They bring this perfection. And when you come that way, the people following you are not able to connect, to see where they don't even know how their journey can begin. Do you understand? So that's what I mean by coming down from the mountain top. You understand? If you don't come down, you cannot hold somebody by the hand and take the person on the journey. You must come down. Do you understand? So that is why no matter what I'm talking about, I always come down. Because it's easier for you. You know, that encounter I had with Pastor Tommy, he told me something. He said, Jonah, I've not always been like this. He said, in UNN, I was just an average student. I was just an average student, like any other student. So yeah, I think he said something happened in the library. The librarian was not around. Everybody was complaining, and somehow he was told to go and mount the library that period. Then he asked me, he said, John, when you're in the library, what do you do? I said, you read. So you were just reading, because we were just reading. And there was a day, something happened in the school. You know, this when they read, is garbage in, garbage out. He said something happened in the school and he opened his mouth. He said when he opened his mouth, even he didn't believe what was coming out. Do you understand? So it happened to me. You know, before I met Pastor Tommy, I thought if I resign from the bank, I was going to die. If I don't get salary in 1 month, I will die now. How will I survive? But you know what? When I began to read, you know, with knowledge, with awareness comes confidence.
That's right.
Do you understand? When I began to read, when I began to study, you know what began to happen? The banking hall began to be so small for me. So I began to wonder, what am I doing here? There's so much more I can do. You know the funny thing that, you know, then in the bank, when you go, you know, we're in a Savannah, when you go for training, the bank will say, they will give you, bank now, they will say, for your flights to Lagos, this is the amount. Your accommodation, this is the amount. Your feeding, this is the amount. They will not say, for your training, this is the amount. That particular one, for your training, you will see 1.2 million, I'll be like, why is this training amount? Why is it always a million? So they say, you know, the people who train you, they are consultants. You pay. I said, what do they really do? You understand? So after I met Pastor Tommy, when he told me those things, and I said, okay. So they read books now. Do you understand? They read books. So I began to read.
Hmm.
Then I began to read. So immediately I left banking. In fact, the whole Asaba became too small for myself. I said, no, if I leave banking, I want to do my own thing, it has to be Lagos.
Wow.
I said, if I'm going to Lagos, it has to be Lekki. Do you understand? I went to Lagos, I got a place in Lekki, moved my family. Do you know what I did? I went to my former bank, the head office. I went to the HRO, number one man in the HRO, and I said, I want to train for banks. Bank, telecom, oil, and I wanted to receive that money that they always put training 1 million. I want to be one of those they pay that money to. No, he told me, go to Lagos Business School, do this course, do that course, do this, do that. Because, even though you've read, you know these things, you need to be, you need the paper work, you need to be certified in some areas. So that was how I went to Lagos Business School, did some courses. Today I'm currently a BDSP, Business Development Service Provider. Do you understand? It was in the course of that course I met Professor Paz as a lecturer there. Do you understand? So see, everything in life has a structure. Once you understand the structure, it becomes the easiest thing on earth. Do you know that if you meet those guys that juggle balls, when you say you would think, that's the most difficult thing on earth, right? But when you see the slow motion of that juggling, and they tell you that to juggle these balls, take your right hand first up first. Once you are bringing your right hand down, take your left hand. Once you see the structure of that juggling, within 2 minutes, you do the same thing.
Yes.
So everything in life has a structure. Do you understand? So as leaders, we must be able to lay bare what we did. Do you understand? To get to where we are. Do you understand? When we do that, it's easier for people who are not there yet to model us and also become go-first leaders like us.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. 5-star. Thank you for that. Thank you for those nuggets. Please, if you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, on LinkedIn, I've shared the link. Please join us on Instagram right now. Okay. We're about to end this live broadcast. So we have I have just like one more question to ask our special guest today, Dr. John. Dr. John is a seasoned coach, is a global business leader, is a seasoned trainer. You just heard his story, right? How he started. And looking at where he is today, transforming and impacting businesses globally. So this is it. I want to quickly touch base on some of the things that you mentioned. You said something that I really love, because I love to train our leaders on how to create that environment of trust for their team. And you mentioned something about vulnerability. And most leaders don't understand this. Sometimes they wonder, like, why that people don't trust me? Why that people don't trust what I do? Why that people don't have, this environment of trust? They just want the environment to become, an environment of trust, accidentally. For me, I've never seen any book. If you are watching us live, if you have seen it before, please let me know if you have seen it before. I've never seen a book titled Accidental Success. If you have seen that before, please type it and let us know the book. If you have the link, share the link. Accidental Success. All right. So most leaders just want to experience accidental success. They want the team to just, to believe them, to trust them, without understanding what Dr. John just mentioned, vulnerability. And that's the key. That's the key. So looking at that word, vulnerability, most leaders don't understand it. In many situations, The followers wonder. In fact, the emerging leaders today, they don't. Most of them don't trust leaders. They don't trust their leaders because they look so perfect. For example, in the religious world, some people look as if they were born into this world as born again. So they've never sinned. They've never made any mistakes. They're so perfect. And most of them don't know that when they don't become vulnerable and real, they disconnect from people. So, what would be your own advice? What would be your own encouragement for leaders so that they can better connect with people? They can better help people to also go first. They can also show people how to go first, and then how to become initiative, how to create, how to execute, and how to become proactive. What would be your own advice helping leaders to become more vulnerable and the impact?
Okay, I am I am into multi-level marketing. Hmm? So I have in the last 3 years, I've created a team of about 20,000 persons. Now, in that team, I have people from all walks of life, people from every part of the countries in the world. Now, one of the things I have done consistently that has helped me to manage these people without any issue is this. Now, I realize that in this industry, they see me as the leader, number one in Nigeria, in this company. I'm the highest ranked, I'm the first and highest ranked member in Nigeria. That is who I am, and that is what they see in terms of result and everything. Now, at the same time, I know that in my team I have professors of medicine, I have military men, I have medical doctors, I have lawyers. Do you understand? I have people from civil service, I have bankers. Now, even if you come into my industry today, and today is the first time you are joining me, it means that as far as this industry, where I'm an expert, is concerned, I am the expert, you are the novice, right? But from that day one, I also realized that if you are a lawyer, as a lawyer in the field of law, you are an expert too. And I'm a what?
Novice.
I'm a novice. So once I have this understanding that you know nothing about my industry, I'm the expert. Yeah. I'm sitting in front of you. I also know that as a lawyer, you are the expert. I am also the novice. Once I have this understanding, it will humble me to know that it's not a master-servant relationship. You understand? But this is what most leaders do. In that area where you are an expert, in that area where you are a leader, somebody is doing that industry for the first time, and just because you are the leader in that area, in that field, you just feel that automatically you know every other thing. You are an expert in every other area of that person's life. So you want to tell that person how to relate with her husband or the wife, how to relate with children. Do you understand? So Now, when you begin to put on that posture of thinking you can guide or you can guide the followers in every area, you know, that is where they begin to see you putting on that posture of a perfect and all-knowing leader. And they begin to see you as someone who is not real. But today you look at me as, this guy has done so well in this industry. He has earned so much money. He has built a very large team. You just join me today and I say, so what's, you say, me and Barrister Wale, oh, you're a lawyer? Say, yes. Now, after I've told you everything, and I say, please, okay, you're a lawyer, okay, good. Let me ask you, at least, I want you to guide me on something. You know, I bought a land, and this somebody wanted to sell, somebody wanted to buy the land, and I did this, I didn't. You made a mistake that you ought not to make, you understand? And you say, please, I said, lawyer, can you advise me? Of course, they will be surprised. Make kind of mistake? He say, yes. So now you are showing your vulnerability. What do you think will happen? The person will say, wow. Do you understand? Will you make me feel that, oh, there's even an area he knows? You are reminding him that there's, in this your area, you know this, I don't know this. Do you understand? When you can be vulnerable to each other like that, what does it bring? It brings connection. It helps to solidify rapport. You understand? It brings about rapport. Because when there's no rapport, there cannot be connection.
That's right.
Do you understand? So it also boils down to what I've said about leaders going to lead from the mountaintop, all knowing, all perfect. Do you understand? Knowing that at every point in time there's something some other person is not that even you don't know.
Yes.
Do you understand? You must be able to own up to it. Do you understand? You must be able to even ask, do you know if you're in a board meeting, if you're in a board meeting as the leader of the team, you're supposed to speak last. Do you understand? You're supposed to speak last. You're supposed to give. You're the number one in the team. Yes, you're supposed to speak last. And when everybody is speaking, whether wrong or right opinion, your face should not express approval or disapproval. Do you understand? No, everybody is told. You know what I do. Even as a married man, if women, marriage is simple. You already made up your mind. This is what you want to do, and you're asking your wife, "What do you think?" Do you understand? You've already know that you're going to go A. You've decided you're going to go A. Instead of coming to say, "Hello, honey, and this is I'm going A." What if you come and say, honestly, what do you think? Women, when you ask them, what do you think? They feel happy. It means that you are able. Do you understand? That's leadership. That's leadership. Because once you don't show your vulnerability, you feel you are all knowing. It's always difficult for people to connect with you. So I think that is the best way to go about it.
Wow, fantastic. So thank you so much. We're about to end today's live broadcast, the transformation table. And Dr. John, has been doing a great justice to this topic. Leaders, why leaders go first. I wrote something here. I would love to read it for all our viewers because this is very important. That if you are a leader, or if you want, or if you desire to become a leader in your industry, which is very important, it's a good thing. It's normal to desire to be the best. And Dr. John said something about what he learned, when he was mentored about personal, development, which of course was the first thing. And he exposed himself, into the environment of learning, and that really helped him to become and who he is today, mentoring different people, leaders globally. Now he is not just a leader; he is a leader of leaders. Building leaders globally. If you are a leader, or if you desire to become a leader in an area of life, you want to become one. See, this is very imperative, and I want you to take note of this. And this is some of what I'm about to say. These are some of the things that we've heard from Dr. John today. You must always be willing, ready, and committed to go first. All right, willing, ready, committed to go first. There is nothing that I mean, there is no shortcuts. You must always be willing, ready, and committed to go first. Dr. John, I would love for you to just help us to round up this conversation today with this last question, maybe just the next 2-3 minutes, just to round up this conversation today, because this is very interesting. I feel like staying here, but we have to go. I know it's very late there, and tomorrow morning I know you will be having, a longer trip, a long trip traveling. Now, looking at this vulnerability, looking at leaders go first, looking at balancing mentorship, coaching, because most leaders, they just want to be the all-rounder. They want to be the one guiding the people in every area of life. They want to look perfect in everything, even though they have weaknesses, so they don't want people to see their weaknesses. In fact, that is something I always tell people, that they know you're already weak. Even if you don't talk about it, they know. They can see you because you're in the front. So they see your blind spot, even if you don't see it. So why can't you just talk about your blind spot so that they can support you? You are the one, as a leader, that is losing. If you cannot tap into the potential and the resources, the talent, and the giftings of the people that are following you, or the people that you are leading in your organization and your team, the leader is losing. So I want you to just conclude with this question. Sometimes there are many benefits in the leader going first, and of course the leader going last, because you mentioned that. So that we can balance it. Now, taking a cue from the concept of servant leadership, I have a question. How can someone serve his or her way to the top?
How can somebody serve his or her way
To the top.
to the top?
Hmm.
Good. Life is all about service. Do you understand? Life is all about service. Say people don't care how much you know or how much you have until they know how much you care.
Hmm.
Do you understand? So when in business, most leaders, they make businesses, they make their businesses transactional. We are in a business relationship, and the relationship is giving me money. Do you understand? It's giving me money, and as far as the relationship is giving, that is the only thing I connect with you for. Do you understand? It's giving me money, and that is the only thing I know about you. Do you understand? Now, when you get to meet people, there's something called the emotional bank account. When you meet somebody for the first time, an emotional bank account is open. Now, when you open an account, what happens? You are either depositing or you are doing what? You are withdrawing. So when you meet somebody for the first time, the easiest thing, or when you are in a relationship, the best thing to do is to always deposit. Do you understand? The best way to leave people is to leave people owing you. Do you understand? When people are in a relationship and if they want to always take, they want to always take. You understand? You take and take and take, and you are left with nothing. Do you understand? But so, as a principle, when I meet people, when you connect with people, think of how do I serve this person? How do I leave this person owing me? How do I do something that this person will look at me and we say, what can I do for John Mukoro in return? That's living a life of service. Do you understand? Always wanting to serve. The more you want to serve people, the more you want to give to people, it opens doors for you. Do you understand? Always wanting to give first. The more you want to give first, the more you want to support first, there are a lot of doors that will just be open for you. As against coming into a relationship and all you want is to take. Do you understand? So the more we come into alliances with the mindset of helping, of giving, of serving, the better society we will build.
Wow. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. You said something that I think I would love to repeat. Nobody cares how much you know and how much you have until they know how much you care. People don't care about what you know, about what you have, until they know how much you care. And then you also said something that you should always look for ways to add value to people, to deposit into that emotional bank account, so that people can, every transaction you have, you should always leave people owing you. You're depositing into them, you're giving to them, and then you're sharing with them. You going first, and it's all about going first, all right? Serving the people wholeheartedly. It's a heart thing. It's not a head thing. And that's very important. Thank you so much for your time, for for your experience, for your skills, for your content, and for having this great time with us, and with all leaders who are live, right now with us, and those that are going to watch this live broadcast even in the future. I believe that this will definitely impact our lives and add so much value to people, whether you're a business leader, a religious leader, or any leader in any industry. Definitely is the same thing, same principle, same principle. It works everywhere for anyone, and anytime. So thank you so much, Dr. John, for being here. We really appreciate you. Thank you, sir. And do have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My pleasure. Anytime, any day, you can always count on me.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And stay tuned. Next week, we're going to be right here with another special guest, another special global leader, as we continue on this live on this transformation table series. Okay, don't miss next week. Next week we're going